category, but I was talking with Chip Hanauer from Miss Budweiser, and he was like, I didn't know if it was going to hold, but I put it in the turn anyway.
Correct.
And the skid fin, thank God it held.
Well, and
I had to believe it was going to.
Absolutely, and that showed last year. Willie had a really rough year. He never beat me and Caleb last year. He had a rough year. His confidence was way down. We went testing for a couple days, and honestly, my only job was just to build him up, just to tell him that, hey, man, you can do this. You're good. Mm-hmm. And then we made a plan for the first race. We got out front, told him you do it, and he won the race. And from that day forward, he's a different guy. You know what I mean? You got to have that confidence.
Now, is 450 almost getting like an IROC class? Because you got guys from Class 1, you got guys from Super Stock, you got guys from Super Cat, all throttle. It's got this IROC feel. You're putting like the best of the best all in the same class against each other.
You get a lot of that there, yes, because honestly, it's
you
a
got
great
Johnny,
class.
You got Johnny, you got Giovanni, you got yourself, you got Grant.
Yeah.
All these guys with all this experience.
I mean, honestly, even Michel Carcente, who I raced his boat 15 years ago overseas offshore. He's been doing this a long time. Mm-hmm. He's got a lot of experience. And then, of course, the young guns that are my kids, Nick and Ian. Nick is an amazing talent on the sticks, and Ian's an amazing talent on the wheel. I test with them 3-4 days a week, and they're great, and they're only getting better.
And speaking of that, we want to send positive thoughts and best wishes to Joe Imprescia. We understand he had some issues, but he's doing better.
But he's too tough and angry to die. He'll be fine. He's going to be fine. I'm surprised he ain't here. I was hoping he was going to be here, but yes, definitely best thoughts to him and Debbie, his wife, who's amazing. And hopefully we see him soon.
I'm missing seeing Biggie, but I've seen Jeff Stevenson's.
Well, we were lucky.
Frenchies and
Biggie lent us his stroller for trick-or-treating, and we put our Boston Terrier in it, so that was good. It was good since he was out of town.
Oh, we got boats on plane getting ready to start.
So it looks like the 450Rs are up and ready to go.
Inside.
8 laps here for the factory 450R.
Hank Saloon is in the inside lane. Montlick Attorneys is second. GC Racing lane 3. Conados is 4th. MTI 5th.
Checkered flag. Green flag.
151 is lane 6.
All right, so our 450R boats
Look
are
at
up.
Hanks.
Hank squirted him. Hank squirted him. It's probably a small propeller, so we'll see if it blasts all the way down there.
Hank Saloon, Edwin Shearer,
the
Gobi
local
Harrison,
boys.
Inside lane with the local sponsorship, Hank Saloon, Key West. So here's what Sean's looking for to see how these boats head. They head the water when they get out to turn number 1. I wonder if that third buoy's still out there. They did put 3 buoys at the turn at 1 to widen that turn. Now, the Sean, new thing with the 450R established was once you get moving, you don't have to stay in your lane as long as you're two boat lengths ahead.
On our way down there, exactly. If you're 2 boat lengths ahead, you can move over and take the lane.
And
so when you're running down there, you're constantly talking to your driver. How are we on that side? And I'm watching my side of the boat, and then we're seeing what we got and if we can move over and make a move for the lead.
And we've got 8 laps to run, 4.5-mile course. So let's see how.
So it looks decent. Hank's still he's not there first. It looks like might be Montlick first. Is that correct?
Montlick is definitely coming around on the outside. Hanks takes the inside pin. And
but Hanks ran out of steam halfway down. That's what I was worried about. He should be good though between these 2 buoys because he's shorter. If his balance is good, does he have enough weight forward? Someone on the outside is pretty good. Looks like an MTI.
Looks like MTI. Looks like Johnny.
No, it's not Johnny. I think it's either GC or 151. I can't see it.
Oh, yeah, because Johnny was way outside. Taylor does not have great luck picking cards.
Boats are getting a little bit of skip there, but some of them staying a little bit more stuck to the water, Sean.
Yep. We really see the balance. So it looks like Montlick had really good balance going down the backside there between 1 and 2 because they're keeping it really level, and that's what you want. You want the boat level because then you can take a flyer, but you don't get out of shape and you don't scrub a bunch of speed. It'll enter back in and you keep on rolling.
Now, this is such a compromised course for setup. Where are you kind of keying on having your best performance? Do you want it to be out between 1 and 2, or do you want to survive 1 and 2 and still have speed coming into the harbor?
This is a great question. And really, the reality is how far down the mole and out from the island going out, is it flat enough to go fast? That's what matters. So
looks like
that's what you're looking for.
Montlick is coming at us in the lead from lane 2.
And then we got 151.
Montlick Injury Attorneys has the early lead after lap number 1 here in the Southernmost Continental Championship. Montlick.
Gladiator Canados is in second.
2-second lead over the Gladiator.
151 is third.
151 third. That's a big deal for them because they started all the way on the outside.
Hanks is fourth.
So they're doing good.
GC fifth.
And then the other thing about
Taylor sixth.
The other thing about Key West is now the harbor turn.
Yep.
Rough out there. Now you got to pin it on basically a 1-pin turn and go back the other way. So it's a completely different race course down here in the harbor.
Now they added an extra buoy over there. Hopefully that helps navigate that. Now we're not dealing with as many boats here. This is only factory 450R out there racing right now. 7 boats on the course. 8 laps here, 36 miles on this course off of Key West. There's the Gladiator Canados boat. Michel Carcente, the veteran driver, has won world championships here at Key West in V-bottom races. He's raced X-Cap before, as Sean and Gary Ballou have, and he's got that boat running very nice here, heading out towards turn number 1 after lap 1, running in second.
So now here's the question. How far can they run out of here and still be flat enough to go fast? That's what determines how big a propeller you're going to run. But you can see Montlick and Canados have the best setup so far. They went across the rough good. They came out of the harbor turn with good punch, but you see Montlick just lost the nose right there. So it's basically at the monster buoy from us. So that's not even halfway down.
So when you say they lost the nose, it picked up?
Correct. So
okay,
when you're coming out of the harbor, it's flat. So the boat will go, let's say these boats will probably run out of the harbor 110, 115 mile an hour, the way they're propped. So then you hit the first big one. Yep. You want it to fly flat, but you're going faster. So now the nose goes, you've lost the nose, it'll scrub speed, and you basically got to tighten the boat up. You got to keep it on the water.
And we're going to the exit turn telecam there momentarily. It looks like Gladiator's making
they
up
made
distance.
A run because they didn't carry the nose like that. They saw him make the mistake, and now they're picking him up.
2 veteran international racers throttling here. Michel Carcente.
I think he might have them on the inside. It's very
and
close.
off the camera, it looked to me like Nicky and Ian got past Hanks.
Yep. Now here's the flyers in turn 1. The deal here is when you get in turn 1, you want to turn the boat when it's in the water. So you're in a trough, you got to take advantage of it and turn the boat and be aggressive, and then straighten it up over the next, the next flyer.
Right.
And Montlick was able to distance a little bit from Gladiator in that turn. As they head down the roughest part of this race between 1 and 2, got an east-southeast wind still at about 13 miles an hour, which is significantly less than we saw yesterday.
Canados just took a little bit more of a flyer there. It looks like Giovanni's got Montlick flying pretty level.
Any concern, Sean? I mean, as you start running a little bit more into the wind of getting too much air in that tunnel?
Absolutely. When you go to 1 to 2, you're not going that fast, honestly, but you're going right into the teeth of the wind and into the swell.
And Irvin just made that move that you talked about. He made a tight inside move.
So here's the deal. You can make the tight move there and think you're gaining. I don't believe you do. You have to angle it so that you run at the mole and you
rolling.
get exactly. You don't scrub it so hard because you'll see. Yeah, he made up some ground, but Montlick pulled away immediately after that.
Let's see what the split is here. You see them coming side by side into the harbor. Montlick Injury Attorneys with the lead again, less than 2 seconds behind the Gladiator Canados boat.
Yep. Now here's the other thing.
Then here comes Nicky and Ian in third.
So when they set up for the harbor turn, Montlick is in a much better position because they're wide. Because while they added another buoy, it's still the same distance width-wise. So you've got to really turn the boat. So if you can start wide in, it's going to help you a bunch.
GC Racing chasing down Hanks for 4th place. TS Motorsports, pardon me, running back in 5th.
No, GC was 5th. TS is 6th.
They're 6th.
Yep.
And look at the boats as they head into the harbor turn.
Exit.
Yeah, let's. Could this be a situation where maybe Johnny's setup is going to come to him late? Because right now it's very surprising to me to see him in 6th.
I don't see.
Here's Hanks. I don't.
No, I see. That's Canados. Where's Montlick? Have we lost Montlick?
Yes, I don't see.
I don't see
Montlick
Montlick coming up either.
You're right, Sean.
I wonder if they spun.
Looks like Gladiator Canados.
Are they okay? Do we have any?
No, he's on the outside. Gladiator Canados got inside, and there's Montlick.
There you go.
Yeah, Gladiator Canados got by Montlick Injury Attorneys in the turn.
So now watch Gladiator. He'll get about to the monster buoy here from us, okay? So about that big sailboat, and you'll see him tighten the boat up. He'll bring the nose down. There it goes. It starts to fly. Look, there you go. He's tightening it up.
Billy Shipley, Team Woody, stops in to say...
Team Woody, he don't know nothing about no cats. He's a V-bottom guy.
Sean Torrente joins us. Factory 450R racing here. Montlick Injury Attorneys had the early lead, but after lap number 2, the Gladiator Canados boat has taken the lead. Here you can see Montlick coming in on the right of your screen.
They made up a ton of ground down there, Canados did. There's a good chance that, possibly Montlick might have had a guardian issue in the corner because he just made up a lot of ground.
What are some of the troubles that you can have down in that harbor turn?
Well, so when you're running in, you're running downwind, which is the hardest part for the boat. You know, a cat wants to lean back and fly. Well, when you're running downwind, that wind's on the deck. So if you're going 100, let's say at a 20-mile-an-hour wind on your deck, the boat only thinks you're going 80. So it's down on the nose so that the gear cases are out of the water, so it's low on water pressure. Now, Mercury's done a great job with these things by reducing the Guardian faults. Like they've made it more of a race motor, and they've done a great job. But I just think they made up so much ground, I think something might have happened. So we'll see if they can fight back.
Yeah, there's a good shot of TS Motorsports.
Oh, big one for 151.
They're back in third. Got to keep that boat in the water, Sean.
Got to. They just lost probably 10 boat lengths with that mistake. They got to tighten it up.
That was off camera, but great eye by Sean Torrente. We see our leaders coming around in front of Ford Zachary Taylor. This is on the end of lap 3.
Perfect corner by Irvin. You saw that.
Yep.
See the difference there where he didn't stick it underneath him? He let it float. He kept his boat speed, and now he's got a good run down the inside.
So Canada's they were at a 2-second deficit when they came into the harbor last time. Now they have a lead, and it's up to about a dozen boat lead. Now, sometimes these angles are a little bit deceiving, but we'll find out. We'll get the split as they come by right now in front of us here at the start-finish line. There's your leader, Michel Carcente and Irvin Grant, Gladiator Canados.
That boat's prepared by Troy at Supreme Marine. He does an amazing job preparing that boat.
I got just under 5 seconds for an interval.
4.7-second lead. 151, they didn't lose too much. They're still in the thick.
And they're picking up Montlick. So here's the deal. Can you get a split when they come out of the harbor for me?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Let's see if he makes up that room on.
And GC's putting it on, Hanks.
Is he? All right, look at that. And Johnny and Taylor are struggling. They must have missed the setup. I think they're either too small or too big. I just don't know which way.
That's why I wonder if it could come. If they went too big, they lighten up on fuel. Could it come to
them a little bit? Yes. But
not enough to make this
These boats are so
up.
close,
Yeah.
though. They're so close that when you get that far behind and then you're in the dirty water,
now
it's really difficult.
You add weight depending on the conditions, but these don't have ballast tanks that you
They
can
do
blow.
not. We
You know,
can
it's
move the
just
weight before the
It's
race.
just a lead shot.
That's it.
All right, we're seeing the boats come out of the harbor. Here comes Gladiator.
See, it looked like Montlick had a much better corner there. They didn't lose as much ground, but you'll tell me now.
Yeah, 1 second. They made up 1 second in the turn.
So there you go. So how did they lose 4 last lap and then make up 1 here? So obviously they had an issue down
They
there.
had something in the corner after that second lap.
Yep.
And everyone you talk to who's been in a boat with Logan has nothing but glowing things to say about him as a driver.
Well, he's a young guy that just loves this, right? And he wants to go after it, and he's aggressive. And you know what? It's always better to have to slow a driver down than it is to speed him up. So,
And
yeah.
from what I hear, he's a pretty good dirt car driver.
Oh,
So
yeah?
so there's a feel element
That's a Billy
to that.
Allen thing.
Yeah.
Billy Allen's a great dirt car driver.
Yeah.
So you put him in the rough, he's almost impossible to beat.
There's Gladiator Canados with the lead in 450R. What lap do you have them on, Eric?
I have this on. We're going to finish lap 4 of 8.
Right, you got it right. So we're at the halfway point, just about here on this 8-lap course. The course about 4.48 miles. Typical Key West course, sitting in the lee of the island. Today we're getting a little bit more of an east-southeast wind, but boy, it sure dropped down quite a bit. We had winds yesterday gusting over 30. Teams were reporting waves of 6 to 7 out there between 1 and 2. It's definitely settled down.
Well, it's
here
also
today.
switched back to 090
Hanks
a little
got
bit.
back around.
So
No, this is GC kind of trying to get inside of Hanks here. So let's see if
See how that goes out
let's see
there.
if Grant and Willie can get past him.
Sean?
So
You're
the wind is switched to 090. So basically it's more westerly. Yesterday it was more south.
Yeah,
westerly,
more
okay?
easterly.
Or more easterly, sorry.
Right.
Yesterday it was more southeasterly. So that's much worse for the water when it's southeasterly. When it's 090, it's being protected by the island.
That's right.
So you only have the bad 1 and 2. That's why all this stuff by the mole has calmed down so much.
And look at that tight turn by Grant again. Motley going a little further to the outside.
So
And-
Irvin stayed tight that time.
He's defending a little.
Yeah, see, that's the thing I try to tell my drivers too, is when we get in the lead like that, especially if we've come around someone, don't worry about behind us. Worry about in front of us. Let's make this thing go fast. If you're watching the mirror all the time, you aren't driving your best race.
And these have cameras, right?
They have cameras and all that stuff, yeah, absolutely. But this is where a veteran throttleman like Michelle needs to be telling, hey man, you're doing a great job. We're good. Let's just pull away from them.
So Canados still holding that.
Right around 5 seconds.
Yeah,
right?
about 5 seconds.
Yep.
They make it up on the outside, lose a little bit in the turn. not much. 151 now.
They're holding a solid third.
Yep.
Here comes GC now. GC looks like they moved up to fourth. They've got by Hanks.
Yep.
Hanks is too short. I think that's what happened to Hanks.
On the prop, yeah.
Yep, they're too short. Balance isn't bad, but they're just too short on propeller.
For them to pull that hard right from the start like that.
Oh, you saw them. It looked like everybody was tied to a post. So they're probably 3 pitches smaller than everybody else.
Yep.
There goes the TS Motorsports Marine Technologies team.
So, and
six.
it makes you maybe guess that they went too tall, Johnny and
I
Taylor.
think they went too tall.
Yeah.
And not that I know anything, because I don't know what they ran, but I've raced against them for the last 2 years. That's generally which way they go.
Now, what's your experience been with the motors you're going to be racing in this class next year? Have you run 500s yet?
Yeah, I have 500s on my pleasure boat, and at STR we've done I think 12 repowers on cats now.
And everyone I talk to about them just says night and day. Kind of almost like when you went from the 400 to the 450, the 500 over the 450 is that much better.
It's that much better because not only the extra power, that's great. The main thing is it's all the issues of the 450 have been basically rectified.
Yep.
And now it's like I call it a Gen 2. You know what I mean? It's just so much better and better for our customers. They get to go run and have a great time.
Guys, Mottlick made up 2 seconds on that turn.
So here's
coming back out to turn number 1.
So I think, Todd, honestly, down there. So what Irvin's doing is he's just running a conservative race now that he's out front. It's one thing to stay close. It's another thing to pass. They already got by. So he can be conservative down there and then pull the 2 seconds the rest of the way around where they're comfortable.
That's where they've made the distance. It's where they've spread the interval.
So now it's just a matter of
so you
maintaining.
Said he made up 2 seconds there. Now from one or from halfway down there back to us, let's see if it goes back up. Because they look really good across the back.
And they have land-based communication telling them what's going on. Correct?
They got spotters telling them what's going on. Troy from Supreme is telling them the distance, telling them what they're doing. And right now, Troy is nervous as all hell because he prepares that boat. So it's in the lead. He's done his job, but if it breaks, he hasn't done his job. So there's that, too.
And before Troy got Supreme Marine, he was the lead guy at Bobby Moore's Custom Marine.
That's correct.
So he learned from...
Troy buys a lot of our STR products for race boats and pleasure boats. And the greatest thing about Troy is as long as he's been doing this and as much as he knows, he is not afraid to ask a question. That's when you know you're really good. If he doesn't know something, he just calls. Hey, should I do this way, or how did you design it?
Yeah,
that way he gets it right because he just wants it to be right, and that's huge.
And he's just a nice guy.
He's awesome, and he loves this. All right, let's see what Irvin does here.
Yep.
Is he a little softer there?
Nope.
It hooked up there halfway through, but that's all right. He had an idea to do that.
He got it back about 2 more seconds, almost 4 seconds.
Across the back.
Yep, across the back.
So he's better across the back. It's going to be hard to catch him when you're that much better across the back. The other thing I will say, though, is Giovanni is excellent in the rough. He is very good. I raced him in X-Cat. In the flat, I had him covered. In the rough, he was good. It took a lot for me to stay in front of him. And he's probably biding his time because he don't want his boat to break either. It's going to be curious the last 2 laps if he makes a push for the lead.
Yeah, because I was going to say he sure looks like he's trying to close it up here.
That's what I'm saying. I think he's putting some pressure.
Yeah, I got
down to 2 seconds.
Yeah, 2. Yeah.
So they're pushing harder through the exit at 2 and down here in Harbor Turn. They're really pushing.
This is down to a 3-lap race. Race fans, factory 450R. That's Dick and Prussia, Ian Morgan, running in third, 151. GC Racing, a reigning world champ. Blake Cabeza, fourth with Grant Bruggeman.
Hanks is in 5th, and Johnny and Taylor are still in 6th. For the southernmost
Continental Championship. 6-boat field here, factory 450R.
The Intercontinental title.
Intercontinental. Nice. Nice. Some WWE vibes.
Right.
Oh, Montlick's underneath them. They're almost dead even.
Yeah, let's see this drag rate. We can't see it on screen. Can we pick up the
We
boats
need
coming
to pick
out
up
of
the
the
boats
harbor?
coming out of the harbor. They're deck to deck going out. Montlick's pulling them. So they're shorter. The question is, can Continentals hang with them? Nope. They're going by. Montlick's gone.
Yeah. Well,
Got back around them. So once again, that shows you that earlier they had an issue because they are quicker. If you can come back around someone, they are quicker. Now Giovanni needs to be smart and tighten it up here so he don't lose a bunch of ground like they did last time.
and he just flew the nose.
He did, but he'll tighten it up. You'll see. Right here, you'll see. Look, change of the boat. Bam. Look, see how it's breaking off by the numbers up there? That means he tightened it up. Now he's going to keep it up front. He's already done the job. Now he's just got to maintain it around here.
Now, when he tightens that up, I mean, how much of a tap on the down button is that? Is that just like...
So when the boat's right,
Yeah.
it's 2 degrees different.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all it is. It's 2 degrees. You're going from, let's say, because these boats all run negative trim, you're going from like a -3 degree to a -5 degree and letting it rip.
Let it eat.
That's it. And now by lap 6, right? That's what they're on, lap 6 or 7.
They're heading out to 6 now.
They're on 6. You know what the water is. You have confidence in what your boat can do and it can't do, and you're trying to work around those issues to try to make it quicker.
Now, you hear a lot of talk about that teams, they roll into their setup or they move away from it. In these boats, is that as big an issue?
So actually, I don't believe that. The setup is pretty much the setup. The fuel tanks on these boats are on the CG, so we don't want the boats to change based on fuel load. What does happen, though, is, like I just said, you run the first tour lap, and they're really reconnaissance laps. They're like, okay, what is the water like? What can we do in this corner? How can we fix that? So then you're continually getting better every lap. I have lap times on my dash on the AIM, so I know my lap time halfway, not even a third of the way through the lap. It gives you a predictive lap time for your next lap, so you know if what you've changed is doing better, and you try to pick it up like that.
There's Montlick Injury Attorneys.
Canados is strong across the back.
Canados is coming towards them, now less than a second behind.
Irvin's going to the inside again. He needs to go right back to the outside there. See, he should have gone outside into the buoy to make up the lane and then cross right over to keep the boat speed. That's what I would have asked them to do.
And we're down to 2 laps once they come through Key West Harbor again. Factory 450R racing with Montlick Injury Attorneys in the lead, and now pulling a little bit more speed on Canados into the harbor.
Canados might have a problem.
Yeah, because it's not like
he fell way back just now.
It's not like he has all that much more power.
No, he just
it's
fell way back.
It's a spec class. You're not going to just. Yeah.
He's back up and rolling now. He's okay.
4 seconds off, just slightly.
Came by in full song. He's okay now, but it looked like he had a little issue there in the middle of that straightaway.
But he kind of did it to himself by cutting that turn so tight, didn't he?
Yep. 151 and GC battling now. 151 needs to take this lane and hold this podium. They need this podium for Sunday.
Yep.
Every point counts today. They need them for Sunday.
Hank Saloon coming through in 4th.
Hank Saloon will be on the podium with the Little Prop Award.
Hanks is actually in 5th.
They'll be on the podium with the Little Propeller Award.
And then Johnny and Taylor.
And then Johnny will be on the podium with the Large Propeller Award.
6, you take it whatever way you can get it, I suppose.
Yep.
2-lap race.
Canados back inside.
9 miles.
Okay, did GC get inside at 151? That's the question. 151 closed the door, so they're clear. But GC's still inside.
Yep.
About 2.5 second lead for Montlick. Let's see what the split is on 151 and GC.
Once again, GC
151
is shorter.
and GC right now is a drag race.
Yep, GC is shorter. You can see the acceleration off the corner.
Yeah.
So 151 needs to make that ground from here till it gets rough.
Whoa, Montlick just got past. Something's
Montlick
wrong
down.
with Montlick.
That's Guardian down on 1 motor. Now he's back up and running.
So
just reset it.
Gladiator Canados back to the lead.
Keep it together. But you know what? That's not a Mercury thing. I hate to say it. That's a throttleman thing. You have to be constantly watching temperatures, water pressures, everything. And that's what you're managing most of the time in these boats.
And now 151 and GC are coming up on the transom of Montlick.
Yep. Now we're fighting for second. That's why every foot counts, right?
Yeah, Sean. Back to the water pressure. It's a critical issue with these 450R boats.
You have all the information in front of you. And as a throttleman, when I'm running here, especially when I'm coming into the harbor where it's going to be flat, I ain't looking at the water anymore. I'm watching the dash. I'm saying, where am I at on water? Where's my tab at? Can I make it go faster or not? I'm telling my driver, a little to the right or a little to the left, just to give it some water pressure so that I don't go into Guardian.
Will that be alleviated with the conversion to the 500?
Absolutely not. It will not. It's the same as Superstock. We got to manage all those things. That's part of the way we Superstock or 450 race nowadays.
Or Class 1.
Or Class 1.
Because I was talking with the Mercury technicians the other day, and I said, for the broadcast, people always ask us, why can't they take Guardian out of a race application?
That's very, very, it's easy.
And they
take
said,
the Guardian out, and it'll blow up halfway down the straightaway.
Right. And they said, if the
and then you're
boat's
out.
set up right and it's correct, you're not going to have Guardian.
Race fans, we've got a battle going on here in Factory 450R.
I can't see from the glare who's making an overtake right here, but
that's GC on 151. They left the door open again.
I think you're absolutely right. That was GC coming around.
And Montlick's recovered. They're back in a solid second.
Yep.
And we're down to a 1-lap race
Gladiator
after all 4 of these boats come in. This grid is battling for podium here today. The Southernmost Continental Championship.
Ian Morgan, they just blew that corner. Now GC's on the inside. I mean, you cannot give up that kind of ground when you're in a stock boat. This is stock boat racing. You can't give up 100 yards in a corner.
Michelle Carcente, Irvin Grant. Now
White flag lap.
1 lap left to go.
So they've got what, a 6-7 second lead?
8, 9,
Montlick
8.5.
is second.
All right, so at this point, I'm telling my driver if I'm leading by that much, I'm saying very simply, the only way we lose this race is if we give it away. So we're 1 lane off the buoys, and I'm watching water pressures, temps, and all that stuff, and going 1 more lap, and we're good to go.
All right, so GC Racing now up to third.
Yep.
Hanks in 151 in fourth. Hanks in fifth. Green Technology in sixth. Last lap of the race. All boats still out on the course. It's been a back and forth at the top.
Canado's clean through the corner, so they've made that. They've passed that gate. 2 more to go for them.
Canados and Montlick back and forth. An apparent Guardian issue, a hiccup for Montlick. And now Gladiator, Canados, still holding a substantial lead. It's all in them finishing this race. Still an 8-second lead over Montlick.
And you'll watch him tighten it up early here. He's not going to take any flyers. Michelle's been around this a long time.
And behind them, GC Racing has a 6-second lead over 151. What a move for Willie Cabeza and Grant Bruggeman.
Listen, I get to be hard on Ian and Nick because they're my people, they're my kids. I love them guys. They work for me every day. They gave that away, and I'm gonna smack them in the back of the head when I see him.
They couldn't have a better mentor.
I don't know about that. They ain't gonna like me in about 5 minutes, but you know what? They'll like me tomorrow or Sunday when they win.
They speak very highly of you. I will tell you that much.
I can only imagine what Joey's saying wherever Joey is right
I know.
now.
I love them kids though. They're really good kids. They just can't be that nice.
And
They gotta be a little
the thing
tougher.
is they are.
Absolutely.
They are good people.
Absolutely.
They've been raised well.
They're good humans.
GC Racing for the X Insurance Helicam. Heading out to turn number 1. They've moved up all the way from
So Montlick's making a run.
Back at 5th now to be in 3rd.
And they're going to be in Pro Class 1 next year.
Montlick's making a run. They're pushing like no tomorrow to
Yep.
try to get back because they got nothing to lose.
Right.
Whereas Carcente's just managing out front. If he gets a good run across the backside,
Whoa!
you see?
Montlick up!
You see what I'm talking about? They're
Yep.
leaving it all out there.
And the whole thing there is while they were up in the air, GC,
they just
the
lost
Gladiator
everything they
just
gained.
moved forward.
They just lost everything they gained. But at this point, I don't blame them, right? You ain't got
Yeah.
much to lose. You're trying to win the race, right?
You're trying to win the title.
Yep.
Tough area to recover in out there, Sean.
Once you lose that momentum, it is so hard to get it back out there. You really don't get it back.
But did they also open themselves up to GC making a run at them?
It's possible. I think they're quick enough, though.
GC's right there on. Look at
Yeah.
them. GC, so they all come into the turn. GC's going to take that tight line.
GC's going to go inside.
Yep.
They're outside.
It'll come right down to the finish.
Yeah, but they should have enough momentum as long as they don't have a Guardian or something like that. They should have enough momentum, but we'll see. It's going to be close.
Here's the finish of your factory 450R class. Stock class racing at its best. These big wide body catamarans with the 450R Mercury 4 strokes. Gladiator Canados today poised to take the win in the Southernmost Continental Championship here in Key West.
And that's 2 in a row for him. He won the last race last year, even though we won the championship. GC there. GC is there.
Right there, and my goodness, a photo finish.
Montlick got him.
Montlick just finishing a nose ahead.
And 151 fourth.
So GC Racing third, Montlick second, and 151 Express fourth. Hanks will take fifth, and Ring Technology back in sixth.
Congrats to Michelle Carcente and Irvin. Irvin's
Great
my
job.
favorite brother from another mother. I love that guy. He's so happy. He loves driving that boat. Every time I race him, he gets underneath me. All I see is teeth and smiling, and he's so happy. So I'm sure they're pumped.
He's a Boston kid.
Unfortunately, yeah. That's the only thing that's negative about him. Is he's a Boston kid. Yeah.
You got a problem with New England?
Oh, they're terrible. Bunch of chowder heads.
I actually prefer New York fans to Boston fans.
Do you
so-
really? Yeah, exactly.
And I grew up in Southern Connecticut.
See what I'm saying?
Sean Torrente Racing and S2 Powerboats. There is your winner in factory 450-yard stock.
Well done.
Gladiator Canados, 38 Doug Wright.
Great race. Again, it did disappoint. Great race.
And you talked about it earlier. At the throttles, a veteran that a lot of people don't know a ton about.
I mean, he raced with
Michelle
Mike
Carcente.
Seabold.
Absolutely, he did.
Look at Irvin. He is pumped. That's great to see.
And Michelle actually owns the Gladiator Canados Boat Company.
Correct. So when Michelle couldn't go to a race, I went and raced with Mike Seabold. We finished second and fourth that week, I think, in what was called S class.
Yep.
in Abu Dhabi. It was awesome.
Yeah, and Michelle was a big part of the Fountain Factory team. Won a couple of big Super V World Championships here. 2005, I think 2006. Rodriguez Group was one of the boats.
He was also the publisher of a very successful magazine, Yachts International.
That's correct.
That's when I raced one. That's what it was. Yachts.
That is now part of the Active Interest Marine Group, which is soundings trade only, power, motor yacht, Yachts International.
Yeah, and like yourself, raced X-Cat like Gary Ballou, Sean.
Yep.
So, Sean, what class that you haven't raced would you want to? Do you want to get in a Class 1 boat?
Man, why are you gonna make me say something that'll be controversial? So here's the deal: the lighter the boat is, the harder it is to race. The Formula 1 boat is harder to race than a super stock boat.
Yep.
Super stock boat is harder to race than a 450 boat. I race them both. A super stock boat weighs 4,900 pounds. A 450 boat's 6,500 pounds. Class 1 boat's 12,000 pounds.
Yep.
The heavier they are, the easier they are to race. That's just the bottom line. Doesn't mean I wouldn't want to do it. I'm just saying they're a little easier to race. Once you get past the number on the dash.
So you're happy with the boats you're in?
Oh, I love what I do.
Then how's the S2 coming along? Is it where you want it to be yet?
No, but I don't think it ever will be. You know what I mean? We're constantly
That's a boat
changing.
builder.
Yeah.
But I remember talking to Reggie Fountain one time, and I was like, it was like 8 o'clock on a Friday night in the pits, no one else around.
Yeah.
He's in a different mindset when he's
Exactly.
not. And I just said, so why are these guys grinding on the bottom of the boat and doing all this stuff at 8 at night on a Friday? He's like, because when I'm making money during the middle of the week, I'm not going to waste it on working on a race boat.
Right.
I got a company to run. This is when I can do this stuff.
See, I'm not that smart. I have a company to run, and then I got 2 guys grinding on the bottom of the boat all week at my race shop. So it was never for a profit. And